y'all to remember that. All right. The show is constantly on, so all you got to do is log in, and you can catch it later, and you can skip to the toast if that's all you want to do. I have a discussion every morning because I feel that it's important that we share ideas. This social media piece that we have right now is a double-edged sword. We see how it could work negatively for our community now. Let's talk about how it can work positively. It could work positively by us getting on and sharing positive ideas. I see other people doing it, and every time I see people doing positive things, I'm trying to get on and I'm trying to support them. I'm not trying to see all the fuckery that's going on. I want to send shots out to the family out there in Houston. Our prayers are with you. Libations are with you. You know what I'm saying? Every morning I'm toasting, and our ancestors are working. And I know in some form or fashion, what's going on in Houston is in a sense linked to our ancestors. And our ancestors are talking to us. We have to be bold enough and brave enough to listen to what our ancestors are trying to tell us. Sometimes what's being told to us, we don't want to necessarily hear. We don't necessarily want to see, right? But we have to be clear, and we have to open our first eye so that we can see what's going on. So I want to welcome everybody. This is called, I do my show on Ujima, which is tonight. Those that know what today is, Ujima, I want to welcome you to Gye-Nyame Journey and Tribal Quotes. All right, so let's get busy. Class is in session. So, of course, those that don't know, I'm coming from the African Openness of the Tree of Life. We're leaving off where we left off at the end of May. I haven't done this since May, and I apologize to those who wanted to hear the show, right? But, things have happened. I'm back up here at the Hookah Lounge right now. I came to discuss with my brother about doing a show here. We're going to do something else, so that's kind of why I'm cutting back on the YouTube for now. I'm trying to put things together, so y'all going to see me puffing the hookah. I'm real good at that, but now I got to work all this smoke off, But hey, so now let's talk about some of the proverbs. Now, what I'm doing is I'm at the back. Those that are new to this, you go to the radio show, you go to Gye-Nyame Journey. You can also get on YouTube and you can catch some of the old shows because I covered the whole book. I want to send shots out to Sister Navita. She's on the line. She shared. I want to give shots out to everybody that's sharing, right? Because we need to really start building this up, man, because it's warrior time, man. One of the things that I'm noticing, I'm going to talk about a little bit more in the morning. Y'all know I got to run my mouth, right? But how we look at certain things, right? We have been taught to be individuals, when in fact what the world is shooting at us right now is going to force us to have to start looking at the true sense of a community. What is a community, right? One of my dudes said years ago is community, right? We have to come into unity, you know what I'm saying, so that we can really start building. We need to build our families and we need to build our tribes, just in case a natural disaster or something crazy happens. We always know who we can rely on, right? I asked this question this morning, family. What is your strategy if something drastic hits Columbus or the city that you're in? This is something that each and every last one of you need to consider. This is something that each and every last one of us need to really think about, right? Of course, Facebook is going to be cutting in and out, so I got to go on and kind of rely on Spreaker to keep the message going through the power poor wireless connection. All right, let's do this. This is what it is. All right, so we back up on Spreaker. So now, like I was saying, we got to really be aware of our surroundings. We got to really know Columbus. We got a lot of work to do. So the challenge is for us to really get out here and do true nation building, right? So now, part of that is, one, changing some of the things that we think about, changing some of the things that we do, changing some of the places that we hang with, changing some of the people around us. Family, just because we look alike doesn't mean that we all belong to the same thing, right? Many of us are surrounded by imposters. Many of us are surrounded by Agent Smiths. And we need to be aware of this, and we need to be careful, right? So let me go on and share this, because some people are out here. Let me see. I'm inviting. Y'all can join the show. I'm just sending some shots out. Oh, there go Miss Jackson. We're gonna send one to her. We're gonna send one to him, Brother Kwame. I'm sending out invites so people can go and pop up. All right. So let's keep it popping. All right. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Get on, like and share. I know y'all be talking about I'm on early in the morning, but I'm not on early in the morning right now. We're about to get this conversation rolling. I'm just trying to get y'all started. I'm trying to prime the wheel for some conversation. So let's get to talking. The only thing that I'm gonna suggest, because I know I'm being spied on, right? Facebook, since y'all listening, what I need you to do is I need for you to make it so that people can be invited prior to the show starting, so that I don't have to be pushing on the screen and shit. I can go and invite prior to. I also would like for this app to allow me to have an introduction reel, so when I'm doing my show. So now what we're gonna do, so I won't hold y'all up. Yeah, Brother Akim is back on the hookah. Yeah. It just so happened that my one of the producer owns a shop, so hey, we get busy. All right. So I am currently at the Shisha Lounge. If somebody want to come out and join me, the lines aren't open tonight. Well, actually, I could open the lines. No, I can't open the lines. Man, all right. So the lines are not open tonight. So I apologize for that. I apologize for having to pre-record this for Spreaker. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. What's up, Brother Allende? Thank you. I'm going to go and invite you in. Y'all come on in, family. Come on in. I see you, Miss Keisha Lane. Come on in. Join the conversation. Feel free to write your stuff. You know what I'm saying? Feel free to write everything that you got, any questions that you have. So here we go. The first proverb we're going to look into. I'm going to read 3 of these proverbs, and then we're going to get through them as quickly and as swiftly as we can so I get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not used to being out this late, but I'm going to start doing my show again, and I needed a change in environment. So right now, I'm here enjoying this hookah. So the first proverb, and I want y'all to listen, because our ancestors, they layer the wisdom. So I want you to listen to some of the other people's comments about what they think the proverb is saying. All right, so here we go. Symbols. To many, symbols too may serve this function without our understanding why. A combination of lines or colors, for instance, can have varying effects. The effects can vary from person to person. That which brings peacefulness to one may bring confusion to another. That's proverb number 1. All right? Well, actually, it's not really a proverb, it's a statement. All right, here we go. Proverb number 2. It is ideas, and listen to this one. It is ideas that cause evolution and revolution. Ideas in their proper timing, phrasing, and settings. Since it is the nature of ideas to compel and challenge, it is the way of ideas to first affect change of the mind. We might have covered this one already because I'm kind of lost on where we are. Last one. This one is long, so I'm going to go back and then we're going to go through and we're going to work up. Considering people as existing somewhat in inert, latent, and active states, if we were to match up the states with aspects of or elements involved in nuclear fission, that is, we did these already. I'm going to have to go to the next page. I apologize. No, but yeah, better yet, I know which one I'm going to do. I did this one before. I'm going to do this. I'm going to work on this one. It is ideas that cause evolution and revolution. Ideas in their proper timing, phrasing, and setting. Since it is the nature of ideas to compel and challenge, it is the way of ideas to first affect the change of mind. Let's ruminate on that one for a minute, right? It is ideas that cause evolution and revolution, right? Let me give you an example. When I was studying with the elders years ago, one of the elders told a story about Afrique, not Afrique, told a story about the brother, oh my God, I can't think of his name. It's a brother that took the elephants up over the Alps. Hannibal. told me a story. He told a group of us a story about Hannibal. And he said, I think Hannibal's father's name was Hasdrubal, right? And Hasdrubal took Hannibal when he was young and took him to the ocean. And he looked from the ocean and he said, son, you look out there over the ocean. Now this is him implanting the idea, and this is what we got to do with our young people, and this is what we got to start doing with ourselves. He said, I want you to look across the sea. You might not be able to see the landmass on the other side of that sea, but on the other side of that sea is your enemy. They are your sworn enemies. They have destroyed your people. They have embarrassed your people. Right now, we have to pay a shameful tax to them because we lost a war to them. I want you to put this in your heart, and I want you to put this in your mind, that these individuals are your enemies, and it is your duty as my son and as a warrior of your people to destroy them. Now, of course, I added some words to that, right? But this father took this child and he implanted an idea in his mind. This idea caused this child to evolve. It's the ideas that we put on our children. It's the ideas that we put on our friends. It's the ideas that we do, right? That we share with especially young people that causes them to move forward or to move backwards. One of the major issues that's hitting our community, I believe, is the lack of ideas, right? We have a lot of old, outdated ideas. We have a lot of customs that we say we follow, but we don't follow. And all of them are based on old ideas. Now, ideas, as it says in here, it is ideas that cause evolution and revolution. Family, it's time for us to start introducing some new ideas to our young people. Brother Allende says, who you with, big brother? The world has been Trumpified. What? Who you with, big bro? The world has been Trumpified. No, the world ain't been Trumpified. You know what I'm saying? Shit. The Great Pumpkin, you know what I'm saying? The Great Pumpkin is just a small piece. And that's, like I said, that's an idea. What Trump brought to the people that are his core are new ideas. And our challenge, brother, you know what I'm saying? Our challenge is to put ideas in our young people so that we can start waking up our base. Trump did nothing but spark ideas, man. He sparked ideas, even if the ideas ain't real. He sparked ideas, right? What are the ideas that we're putting on our children's head? See, because because this is where we are. Our children leave our house and are gone and under other people's influence for 6 to 8 hours a day. They come home, they turn on their media. They are under influence of other people for another 4 to 8 hours a day. And then they sleep and dream about the ideas and the stuff that they have experienced through the day. When are we going to start taking time to start implanting the ideas in our children's mind? The ideas that will move them, that will motivate them, right? Because the world has not been Trumpified because you exist and I exist. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he was to come, he was to eliminate all of us, then maybe the world will be Trumpified. You know what I'm saying? You know, stupid can only rule for so long. This is a fact. You know what I'm saying? We all known stupid motherfuckers that was on top for a little while. Stupid can only rule for so long. You know what I'm saying? So, you ain't got to worry about that. You know what I'm saying? And the world that I'm in is because I honestly believe that I have the power to create my reality. I've been doing that shit for years. People that's close to me, I try to make sure that everybody around me eat. I try to make a way for everybody around me to eat. Even if I'm not eating a full meal, I try to make sure that everybody in my family is eating. Because I need people to understand that's what tribe do. That's what family do. Now, I was listening to 444, right? Jay-Z shit. He got one called Family Feud. He got a song called Family Feud, right? And I think it's the second or third verse. He says, a man can't be rich if he don't take care of his family. And he talks about how he watched The Godfather and he missed this whole shit, right? What we got to understand, family, is that we can't become wealthy. We can't grow. We can't do a lot of shit. Why? Because most of us is out here trying to do it as individuals. We the only one that's playing individual. When they come for our children, they don't come for our children as individuals. They come as a group, as an institution. An institution is nothing but a group of individuals that got together and put some ideas together. When they come for your ass with badges, they coming for you as a tribe, as a group. You say white folks getting bold and too far away from you. Well, that's cool. I mean, shit, dog. You know what? They was bold before. It's just a matter of being able to check. See, because you could get bold. You know, check this out. I don't really consider bullying being bold. You know what I'm saying? There is no boldness, no courage in kicking somebody that you know can't beat you. Right? That's not boldness. That's not boldness. You know what I'm saying? One of the things that separate us from everybody else is that we carry this compassion. I ain't saying not to crush the compassion, but I'm saying let's kind of redirect that compassion and start directing some of that shit to us. Because we need to be compassionate about what's happening in our communities. We need to be compassionate. Why? Because it'll spark something in us to start taking action. Compassion is an idea. And of course, the proverb I'm going off today said, it is ideas that cause evolution and revolution. Ideas in a proper timing, phrasing, and setting. Since it is the nature of ideas to compel and challenge, it is the way of ideas to first affect change of mind. Let's go to that second verse. Since it is the nature of ideas to compel and challenge. If you're not compelled to take action, if you're not compelled to challenge, you have not been exposed to the right ideas. You're caught up on some old shit. Start exploring and get new ideas. Start allowing some original ideas to pop up. Start allowing your ancestors to whisper in your ears, because what we are now is nothing new. Trump is not new. You know what I'm saying? Us being under this type of rule is not new. Dude, like I told you, Hasdrubal took Hannibal and pointed out to Hannibal who was the enemy of his people. Are we doing this with our children? And just because somebody is your enemy don't mean that you have to hate them. But it's understanding where you are. See, when I play sports, the other team is at that point in time when we're in competition is my enemy. I don't have to hate them, but I understand that they come into the court to try to win the goddamn game, and it is my responsibility. It's your responsibility being on the African team, being on the black team, being on the black folks in America's team to try to go and win. We can't win if we on some defeat shit, if we on some surrender shit. You know what I'm saying? So now, let's move to a new one. They say ideas can be food for intellect, body, and spirit. Some are very palatable, some less. Some are very digestible, some less. As with food, so it is with ideas, that we do not always eat what we need. The immediacy of desire often holds precedence until we come to acknowledge that bad ideas bring bad returns. Until we develop the skill for recognizing the more useful ideas from the rather useless ones. So we always gonna have problems as long as we fucking with bad ideas. As long as we fucking with old, out-of-date ideas. We always gonna have challenges. We always gonna have problems. All I'm saying, family, is, yo, where's the new ideas? Some of y'all writers. Some of y'all, we got some of the most talented people on the planet. Just here in Columbus. You know what I'm saying? Just here in Columbus. I ain't talking about people that might be listening to this later on. But we're not bold enough, or many of us may not be bold enough to put our ideas out there. Why? Because we got these fucking trolls on the internet. But we got to be bold enough to start putting it out. And I want y'all to think about this. The elder, the ancestor, his name is Erskine Peters. Describe ideas as food. Right? Many of y'all need to go on an idea fast. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so that you get some new ideas, so that you can discover some new shit. When I was fasting for the 21 days, right? When I fasted for 21 days, I came up with all types of new ways to cook food. Being hungry. Many of us are not hungry. See, and I keep going back to the Godfather, because like I said, I listen to Jay-Z shit. I'm like, damn, he on the Godfather shit too. One of the major lessons out the Godfather is keep your family close, but keep your enemies closer. Why do you keep your enemies close? So that you know what they're doing, and then when you keep your enemies close, you find ways to incorporate yourself into their existence, to where if they eliminate you, they basically destroy themselves. You keep your enemy comfortable. And look what's happening to us. Look what's happening to us. We're very comfortable, right? Very comfortable. In America, yo, dog, we think we ballin'. But then you look at the statistics. I've been looking at the statistics. Shouts out to, I can't remember, Yvette Cornell. Shouts out to Tone Talks. They throwing out these statistics. And the fact of the matter is that the average black home, the average black family, is worth about $1,500. Did y'all hear what I said? So now, some of y'all looking at those people in Houston talking about, man, why they just didn't leave? See, when the truth of the matter is, if some shit hit here in Columbus, most of us would not be able to leave. I looked at my car today, and I couldn't drive. I couldn't drive 90 minutes outside of Columbus without that shit breaking down on me. I ain't got no money for no goddamn plane ticket, and I've been working since I was about 15 years old. Why is that? Do I have a bad diet of ideas that's sitting around me and putting all this, just this, you know what I'm saying? Maybe the ideas are being presented in a way where it feels like I'm overwhelmed. It feels like I can't win. And we need to learn how to revoice these ideas, because the reason I said this, and I want you to understand this, I want to say how much we're truly worth as a group, because it says the average family. Because I know some of y'all got more, some of y'all got less. Some of us got less, right? But I'm saying it to motivate. I want you to look at it. It's a challenge. Can we build up our wealth? And wealth is a community issue. Wealth is about community, right? You know, because like, for example, you can name any of the rich people, right? I want you to name any of the rich people, you know, because they are, in a sense, the front. Behind them is a crew of other people. So if you got a motherfucker that's a billionaire, up under him, he got a couple of 100 millionaires. Up under those 100 millionaires, he got a couple of 10 millionaires. You know what I'm saying? 8-figure brothers. Up under them, they got 7-figure brothers. Up under them, they got $100,000 individuals. Up under them, they got people making over 50,000. You see what I'm saying? So the wealth does not just stay with that individual up here, and that individual does not send all this wealth somewhere else. See, this is where we get fucked up at. We get money and we think that we got to spend it with others. That's what we do. We get our checks, we spend it with others, right? We don't have any idea of borders. We don't have any idea of politics, right? And the importance of being able to charge a motherfucker for setting up shop in your community. Everybody on the payroll. Everybody on the payroll, because they got to keep us confident. And the ones that are on the payroll, our job is to keep those that's not on the payroll in check by hitting them with ideas of defeat and shit like that. Oh, it's hard out here. You know, no, I can't. You know what I'm saying? And what we got to start understanding is, in order for us to get up out of this, we got to start building, and not as individuals, because it's the individual mind state that got us getting our ass kicked. We're going to a football game as an individual. We're going to a basketball game as an individual. When we can't win, you can't win like that. Right? Family, this is why I keep pressing the whole tribe shit. Right? I keep pressing the idea about us pulling ourselves together and working as a tribe, right? Because what's to stop a group of us from getting together, raising money, buying an old house in the neighborhood, fixing that house up, putting somebody in it, looking at an old rundown neighborhood, taking that shit over and taking over a block? What's stopping us? Us. The lack of team ideas. Brother Hassan says, peace, Brother Hassan. Peace to Sister Jackie. Peace to Sister Stephanie. So how low does it go? How do we know who to trust? Because everybody needs to get paid. Now, this is the piece, right? Everybody do need to get paid, right? But you listen to an individual and their ideas. You understand what I'm saying? You listen, and also, one of the things that we have turned over totally to the other team, for those that don't like me saying enemy, is this. One thing that we had in every village, when you go to Africa, if you go to Africa, you'll see this. Every one of our villages has secret societies. We done turned over secret societies. We act like we never had shit. What does a secret society do? A secret society helps keep the culture in check. Secret society, if need be, is the individuals that make those motherfuckers that's causing problems within the culture disappear, and make those motherfuckers that's outside the culture that's being disrespectful, make them play. That's all that is, right? So when you go to Africa, just check out those secret societies. They don't call them secret societies; they have different names. What do you think Rites of Passage was about? It's about training up individuals that can protect the culture, protect and promote the culture. Right? What does a culture need, right? Culture is basically, because you can basically look at the same definition for a culture and a nation, right? Stable, historically developed community of people with territory, economic life, distinctive culture, language, and common. In order to keep that, you got to be able to protect the territory and be able to protect the economic life. Who in our community is protecting our economic life? Who's speaking up for our economic welfare? How many of our actual politicians that come up from us is being bold enough to start the conversation talking about what we are owed as Africans in America? I know a lot of y'all don't like hearing the whole reparation shit, but the fact of the matter is we're owed a debt. And like I said this morning, we need to start collecting on that shit like they collect when we late. You know what I'm saying? We need to be calling the government and let them know you're late. You're late. You need to pay us. Right? See, because the whole piece is we are still operating as a broken people. And not only does it affect our community, it affects the whole country. And as long as the country let the true Americans, because I want y'all to understand this, and this is what I mean, and some of y'all get mad at me, right? We are African, but I want you to understand, if there's anybody here that can claim to be true Americans, it's us. Because we are the only people that can only identify this land. Now, I know Native Americans can do it, but they don't claim this as America. They shouldn't be. Because to claim it as America is to claim what your enemy has taken from you and then call it by the name that the enemy's calling it. Right? The enemy took this land, created Americans, and the only people that in a sense was given birth on this soil was your black ass, my black ass, your grandfather, your great-grandmother. We were produced by our experience here in America. So we are the true Americans, and in order for America to get back to where it is, there needs to be repair made to the true Americans. For generations, we were not allowed to compete. For generations, we were robbed. For generations, we have forgiven. And it's time for that shit to stop. Just saying, right? So those are some of the ideas that we got to start talking about. We got to start putting this shit in our children's ear. Slowly but surely. We got to start putting this shit in our warriors' ear. We can be a little bit more aggressive with them. We got to start putting this shit in the nation builder phase. We got to start putting this shit in their ears. You understand what I'm saying? We got to start talking about this. We got to make this the talk of the town. We are over. Columbus over. Franklin County over. Ohio over. The federal government owes. See, because this is the point, man. They don't play with their debts. When you owe them, they come to get that shit. We need to be serious about ours. Right? Because they spread their ideas. They spread their ideas about their... And let me say this, family. When you're on my timeline, when we become family, let's drop the word white supremacy. I don't even like saying that shit. I'm saying it now. Let's just drop it. It's white nationalism. That's all it is. Because there's no supremacy in that shit. There's no supremacy in that shit. Right? Because when you supreme, you ain't got to hold and abuse people. You ain't got to bully. It just is. No supremacy, family. Let's be honest about that. Right? So, what we dealing with is white nationalism. Period. Let's deal with it. Right? Let's start training. Because I seen, like a sign, I seen you working out. You know, some of these young people need to start learning how to work out, learning how to take care of their body. Some of y'all out there on a diet. Some of them, we need to learn how to play the drums so that we can start communicating with the drums, so that we can start saying this rhythm means this, so that communications go down. And if somebody within our circle hears a certain rhythm, they know exactly where to go and exactly what to do. Right? We need to start eating right. We need to start being able to produce food. We need to start, you know what I'm saying? We need to do the basic shit for a nation. I want y'all to understand. When we all decided to start going to college, we gave up. We gave up the major occupations that maintain a nation. You can't have a nation if you ain't got somebody building houses. You can't have a nation if you don't got nobody that can master how the water flow and get out there and do the work to make the water flow. You know what I'm saying? You can't have a nation if you don't have the basic individuals out there that know how to do shit. Right now, you can't have a nation if you ain't got a motherfucker that can take an old car and make that shit run. Right? Our money will be taken from us if we can't protect it. You're goddamn right. Our money is being taken from us. Name one black store in your community. Name a black business. A brick and mortar black. Name one. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a few. All right, name 10, goddamn. Let's do it like that. Name 10 of them that gives us services that we need. See, because you got to check this out. Because I want y'all to understand the hustle. Ideas. Think about this. The hustle, right? Before we start expanding into other shit, we need to make sure we get some staples of culture, staples of nations. We need to get a staple that we control, and that as a group, we decide we will not buy this from anybody else. Right? I mean, we so open in our community. You know what I'm saying? I'm quite sure some West Asian can set up a soul food kitchen in our community and we'll go and buy that shit. Kentucky Fried Chicken. Imagine that. These motherfuckers are making millions and millions of dollars off of a recipe that they got from one of our captive ancestors. Whiskey. Recipe from one of our captive ancestors. They lock down the staples. And they call it a staple because it holds culture. It holds a nation in place. Right? We need to lock down some staples in our community. We need to kill some mother fathers to be taken seriously. Well, now, or, I mean, that's one way to be taken seriously, but that's another way to immediately have a focus put on us that we are not ready for right now. Right? I mean, and then on top of that, see, because even with that, bro, you can't just run out here and kill somebody. You can't just kill somebody. Motherfuckers could disappear. Motherfuckers can mysteriously happen, but you shouldn't be able to take credit for it. Everybody needs to be able to know. Not that I'm advocating that, right? I hear you. And that's anger speaking, right? That's anger speaking. What I'm talking about is this, dude. Once we lock down our community, because once you establish your border and you start defending your borders, that's legal. Right? For example, when I was younger, my elder, Dr. Mariba Kelsey, told me that he needed me to be on a council. I didn't know. He gave me an assignment. I got on there. I stayed on it for about 2, maybe 3 years. And it was a neighborhood political group that the council members, the city council members, would go to these groups to find out what was going on in the community and what needed to happen. And this group was able to control the community. So I was, I think it was Near East Side. I was on Near East Side Commission. He told me I need to get on commission. I went on. I got elected into it because I happen to live in the Near East. And in the Near East Commission, they are able to decide who can build in their community, what they can build in your community, how they can build in your community, what type of stores they can open in your community. They could talk about the zoning of certain businesses. So it's legal to set up borders. The Near East Side, the Near East Side has a commission that is able to protect its borders and make sure that everything that's coming into their community fits. Who's to tell us that we can't set that up for ourselves? Right? Especially if we start buying up neighborhoods. There's plenty of old neighborhoods around here. But one of the things I found out today is that a lot of these properties, they've been gentrified. You look into the center of the city right now, right? Go to the short north, go to the Near East Side, go to all the areas that's around downtown, and you see that all these areas are being gentrified, and those neighborhoods that used to be a majority black are now becoming white, and the brothers and sisters are being moved out because they don't have ownership. So an individual could sell the building and be like, yeah, hey, as soon as your lease up, you need to pack your shit and get on. New owner. So it's nothing but us building, it's nothing but us strategizing. And I want to say this. Another misconception that we have is that in unity we all got to agree. Bullshit. We all don't have to agree. Right? We don't all have to agree. All we have to do is be able to set a point, set a goal, and all of us get to that goal. We work towards that goal. Some of us gonna have this group, some of us gonna have that group, some of us gonna have this. We all agree that we all need to get to this goal, and we agree that we're gonna get to that goal, and we start working towards moving towards it. And then we allow the groups and shit to form. Family, you need to have tribe. If you by yourself, because I want y'all to think about this. It's something like Houston here, because we ain't got to worry about a hurricane necessarily. But we do have to worry about tornadoes. We do have to worry about blizzards. If something like that hit here, who can you call? Where can you go? Can you provide water for your family? Can you provide food for your family over an extended period of time? Let's say 7 days, 10 weeks, right? These are some of the things that we need to be looking at too. I mean, there's a lot of shit that we got to look at, but as a community, we can have a group that's working on that. We can have a group that's working on identifying a community that we're going to take over slowly but surely. You know what I'm saying? We have a group that's focused on the money and properly investing the money, and we can trust them with the money. You know what I'm saying? I say we take some elders that's been doing it for a long time, that's been collecting money amongst themselves for a while, and have shown themselves to be committed. Right? And we start building. Right? Because like I tell people, I don't deal with money. You know what I'm saying? I'm an idea man. I get shit done. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to deal with money. Because once I start dealing with money, I fuck shit up. So we need to have people that know what they're doing, know their role, and stay in their fucking right? So let's do one more and I'm out of here. Listen, an idea overstated is as useless as an idea oversimplified. For that reason, thinkers yearn to phrase their thoughts as pure crystals, while the thinker hopes for us to use his thoughts to see The thinker also desires that we be able to see through the thoughts. Part of the potencies and vitality of ideas is that they have this quality of reciprocity. Alright, so let's go back. Let's go through that and I'm done. An idea overstated is as useless as an idea oversimplified. Now, we spoke about the secret societies. A lot of the secret societies usually were formed around ideas. Sacred ideas. What are the sacred ideas that we can start building our groups on? That we all can agree on, regardless of my religious leaning or whatever. What are the core ideas? What are the, as he called it, he says, thinkers yearn to phrase their thoughts as pure crystal. What are some of the pure crystal ideas that we can start building around? So we don't all have to be, you know what I'm saying? You know, only thing people have to be willing to do is to move towards that idea. You don't give a fuck what your faith is, you know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Boom. Do you agree that we need to move towards this idea as a people? And if the answer is yes, and they're showing commitment, and they're willing to go through a process, become part of the group, because that's another issue too. We just let anybody in that look like us. What's the process? Our ancestors teach from this book. I got it from this book. The best life is achieved by engagement with systematic processes. What's the systematic process that we put in place to make sure that the motherfucker is real? So, this is Brother Hatim. I'm going to try to keep these up on an hour. I gotta get home because I gotta get up, do my show, and I'll be up on the air at 4:15. I know a lot of y'all can't get up with me, but family, you can check in later. Alright? Like and share. Start liking and sharing. I need people to like and share. I love the thumbs up, but I need people to like and share. If you think what I'm doing is worth it, like it and share it. Now, also, I want to mention that Kwanzaa is coming up. So, now for those of us in Columbus, I don't know what's going on in other cities. Sister Jill is organizing royally. Let me say that she's putting it down, right? And we need people to support. So some of us need to start, because as soon as an account is set up, I am going to start donating on a monthly basis to it, so that we can start getting some funds built up. We need to start putting money behind some of these celebrations, because it's only during these celebrations that we come together. Celebrations and tragedies that we come together as a community. So if we have a positive way to come together, like a Kwanzaa or Juneteenth or Marcus Garvey birthday or Arminta Day, which is Harriet Tubman, if we have a way to come together in a positive way where we can celebrate a person and the ideas of a person, we need to start investing in that shit. We need to have a place where our kids can run around. I got 3 young ones that I love that when I come to family events, my children can run. They could be free. They could meet other kids. You know, we need to bring our children together so they know each other. So that if they end up in the same schools or they end up in some of the same sports programs, they know that they're relatives, so they don't be falling out and fighting and shit. Because I'm seeing that every day. I only been in school 6-7 days. Already I got beefs happening in the school. Right? And that's, and it's nothing but a reflection of us as adults. Right? So, unfortunately, everything that's happening, family, is basically a reflection of us. It's basically a reflection of us. And the question is, what story is your child's action telling about your family? So, this is Brother Hakim. I want to thank everybody that took the time to stop in for a minute. I want to send shots out especially to Brother Allende and Brother Hassan for investing on the timeline. Shouts out to LaDonna Copeland. Shouts out to my sister Jackie. Shouts out to Brother Greg and Carolyn Arnold. Shouts out to Sister J. Ross. Shouts out to Hassan Bailey. Shouts out to Victoria Ago. Shouts out to Miss Stephanie Jackson. Shouts out to Miss Keisha. Shouts out, of course, to Ain't Freak. And yo, family, I'm going to enjoy this hookah. I'm going to finish my coffee. And yes, coffee does not stop me from sleeping. And I will catch y'all in the morning. And I will see y'all this time on Coogee Chocolate. For those that want to know what the fuck I'm talking about, you got to take the Loser Topic Challenge. I don't say the days. I try to avoid saying the days of the week that my oppressor has taught me. So I took my principles and I put them on the day. So every day we salute one of our principles. Today the principle that we are focusing on is Ujamaa, right? But if we look at what I call the Millennium 7, the day's principle is gratitude. Okay? You know what I'm saying? There's a principle of Mayat that falls on the day. It's principles from all of our culture that falls on this day. Alright? That we can be utilizing to start putting those powerful ideas in our mind. Because you find what you're looking for. And since a lot of us looking for fuckery, a lot of us looking for drama, you know what I'm saying? We need to go as nation builders and warriors, we need to nix that shit and start looking for opportunity. We need to start looking for wealth building. We need to start looking for opportunities to build tribes. We need to start looking for opportunities to forgive and forget. No, not forget, to forgive. We need to be looking for opportunities to build. And we need to be looking for opportunities to win. Because it don't make no sense to be in this game and not play to win. We all might not be able to become billionaires, but we all can live confidently. There's enough room here for us to do that, family. So why don't we do it? Let's build. Alright? This is Brother Hatim. Sending shouts out to everybody that's watching once again. And I am out. Alright, family. Thank you for tuning in on Spreaker. And we are out.